live 17 floors up, and when it rains I can feel those drops in my window pane. Lets me know that I'm still here. When the sun comes out I will go outside. When it breaks through clouds I will give a smile. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again. And good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again. And up, and when I cry I can see the city through my watered eyes. Lets me know that I'm still here. When my eyes clear up I will go outside. I'll imagine you're still by my side. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Run away, to the nearest place where I'll find all my old friends. Good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again. And good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again. And again, I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again. And good times, I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again. And
take it off, the feeling's gone. We land at this point again. First you played and now we've lost. Like I never wanted anything. Watching as the colors blend, but it still won't mean an end. There are we never knew then, 'cause we are fighting for a different ride, but we still can't see the light. Do you need me the way I miss you? 'Cause I can barely. You're the one I can't deny. I wanna take you sky. Take you sky. Do you need me the way I miss you? 'Cause I can barely. You're the one I can't deny. I wanna take you sky. Take you sky.
Here's my theory. Whoever made that noise made it intentionally. So we would hear it and find him. noise made it intentionally. So we would hear it and find him. So we would hear it and find him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Show Matches of the Learning Fives, or Learning Five Show Matches if you prefer. My name is Ken Opener Dude. I am joined here by Jolly, and we are getting right into game two, or second game, the game that's happening right now between Land Down Under and the Scuttle Squad, or possibly the Scuttle Squad versus Land Down Under if you prefer. Now that I am done messing up my words, how you doing today, Jolly?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. How about you?
I'm doing okay. We've already gone through our first three bands, so now we're going to be getting our picks going in. We see the Zaya pick up, even though Rakan was already banned, so never mind. That's not Zaya. It's in fact Nar. So, what can you tell us about these bands so far?
Well, I do notice Kindred was played last game by Danger Moose 125. And so that is definitely a pick against the Kindred there. That was very, very scary. I think only one death that last game that they played versus Team Red Buff Nemesis. So a few picks and bans here that are very particular to the teams they're playing against.
Mm-hmm. And we see the picks already coming fast and furious. We've got the Gnar, we've got Nocturne now picked up for Danger Moose, and a Swain in that mid lane, whereas on the other side, they're going for the Urgot, the Kayn, and the Malzahar, already starting to pick up some very oppressive laners.
Yes, absolutely. And Nar being another one as well that I think we saw last time on Wumumu, a very, very scary pick. So they did manage to snag one that worked for them last game here, and we'll see if it works out just as well against this Urgot in the opposing top lane. And that is a sub player. I think we have one on either team and a bit of a swap up as well in the bottom lane. Hahaka is normally the support for this team. Sailor Peach normally the bottom laner. So they're trying to swap roles, though staying in the same lane.
Yeah, so not really that much of a difference. I mean, they're just going to kind of be laners. I believe it's just going to come down to overall bot lane skill between these two teams. We do have the Kai'Sa Thresh picked up, as well as Kog'Maw, and this should be a Nami. So these two bot lanes, both very, very strong. Obviously, the Kai'Sa Thresh lane going to be a little bit stronger in the early game, but that Nami, Sailor Peach playing that Nami is certainly going to do everything in their power to suppress that power until Kog'Maw can start scaling up. Not much of a Juggermaw comp, but certainly a Kog'Maw comp.
Much more standard comps than we've seen recently, actually. Seeing the Kai'Sa, if you've watched professional play at all, I don't think we've seen them yet in the show matches, but the gold funneling, she's a classic pick for that. And we've seen her today 2 times now in standard lane of that ADC position. And then on the opposing side, Kog'Maw and Nami, a standard ADC lane, which is nice to see because I know a lot of people are frustrated with this chaotic meta that we have going on. So no crazy abnormal picks here, though we are seeing a few champions on that red side that we have not seen in the past several games here. Urgot, Kayn in the jungle, Malzahar mid even. So a surprising composition here.
Yeah, a very, like I was saying earlier, a very oppressive sort of combination of laners. Urgot in the top lane, certainly going to be very, very hard to lane against for most top laners. Gnar Gonna have an easier time than most melees would, but still, Urgot will be able to hold his own. Kayn in the jungle is what I'm going to be watching myself, because both of these junglers are very, very strong duelists, very, very strong initiators. So I'm very excited to see how they play this, and specifically what Reaver 570 decides to go on Kayn. Does he decide to go the Predator route? Does he decide to go red Kayn or blue Kayn? It's certainly going to be an interesting sort of situation, because with the meta the way it is, there's a lot of builds that can work out for Kayn. So I'm excited to see how that works out. So with that being said, who do you think actually has it based on these two compositions here?
It's always hard to say with these elos and with these teams. We've seen so much back and forth in the previous ones, but you know, I know that there are a lot of safe picks here on the red side. I know that Kayn is one of Reaver 570's top picks for the jungle. A lot of recent play on him. So I want to lean towards them later game. But if blue side can prevent later game from even happening, I do believe they have that extra early damage, the extra early push that can prevent red side from being able to get towards the later matches the game.
Well, with that being said, we do see double teleport on both of these teams. The only real summoner difference here is going to be that Ignite versus Exhaust matchup in the bottom lane. Coming on the opposite side here, the actual late game team taking the Ignite for a little bit of more of an early pressure. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and count down the rest of the spectator delay with some funky music, courtesy of our resident penguin. And we will be back in just over a minute and a half with game 2 here between the Scuttle squad and Land Down Under. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that we're finally through the really laggy EU West loading screen, welcome to Game 2. Looks like we've got a disconnect already coming in here. Sailor Peach and also British Blaze have disconnected. Now Sailor Peach is back. So we're just going to talk about some things. My name is once again Can Opener Dude. I am joined here by Jolly. And we will be going into game within a few moments here on this EU West show match between the Scuttle Squad and the Land Down Under. I I guess we can read off the teams while we're here. So, with that being said, on the blue side, we do have Team Scuttle Squad. They are going to be Wumumu in the top lane, Danger Moose 125 in the jungle, Super Soft 2000 in that mid lane, and in the bot lane we have Voodoo Eardens and Kagoro Mori.
And on the red side, land down under coach is Oz. In the top lane, we've got British Blaze. Jungle is Reaver 570. In the mid lane, we have Chirudo. Hahaka is taking the role of ADC, and Sailor Peach is on that support.
This is certainly going to be a very interesting game. We already see a bit of a strange setup here. All 5 members hanging out in this Riverside Bush. We actually have a special guest appearance by the River Duck as well. Good to see him. Oh, they're going for an invade here. They're going to run into Kagoro Mori. Q from Malzahar does miss. I do believe that's not Malefic Visions. That's Space Aids. Call of the Void does miss there for Chirudo, so they do end up backing up, but they will know that the bot side is going to be leashing for their jungler. Voodoo and Kagoro are both going to be leashing here for the Danger Moose as he starts on his red side. So it's pretty standard jungle clears to begin with.
And no damage there on either side, barely any mana spent, so luckily nobody from either side has to back there. And yes, very standard, very tough leash there for the Nocturne to start. Now everyone returning to their respective lanes. And yes, I'm very excited you mentioned on watching this Kayn. I have not seen much Kayn recently, but I did mention the Danger Moose, Reaver 570. It is one of his favorite champions. So hopefully we will see him play to the likes that he would appreciate playing Kayn at, I'm sure.
Already, we're starting to see a bit of a farm differential in this mid lane. Obviously, Supersop going to be able to pick this up as the lane progresses, but Chirudo pushing Supersop in early is something that we would expect in the Malzahar versus Swain lane, and that totally was an unintentional rhyme there. I do want to talk about the jungle paths a little bit. So we do see them taking opposite side scuttles. Is this something we would normally see with the junglers kind of deferring to each other about who gets which scuttler?
You know, with the current meta, I honestly don't even know what I'm supposed to be seeing at this point. I expect anything. And with the vision that we've been seeing in the past several show matches, it's not a huge surprise that it's an instant priority. And yeah, the swap over there was a bit interesting. Maybe even just to get that
hook on to Sailor Peach. They're going to get awfully low. They're going to burn the flash and the heal from Hahaka to get in here. Hahaka returning some damage onto Kagoro, who gets awfully low. Heal not used by Voodoo, however. Overall, a very nice pick there by Kagoro to get some summoner spells out.
And it does appear that I've got a couple second delay on you, so I apologize if I end up just talking into the team fights there.
Just go ahead and if you click the interface visibility in the lower left there and turn on the time controls, you can press that plus button and it'll speed it up to where we are right now. It's an EUS thing. We've had to deal with it for a very long time. Riot doesn't care about their spectator client.
First time on an EU server, so I have the opportunity to learn quite a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. In the meantime, we do see, again, kind of a scrappy mid lane going on here. Chirudo using a lot of mana. Superstop having to return with a lot of mana to make sure he can stay kind of middling in this lane. We do see that Danger Moose is coming around, possibly for a gank. He may be going for the bot side. He's looking to try and find Reaver. So far, he has not found him, though. That's because Reaver is actually looking for him in the top side. Reaver not going to be able to pick up anything from this, but Danger Moose is able to pick up the Gromp. So far, a bit of an advantage to the blue team, if only in push priority, not really in gold.
Right, and that is what we predicted earlier on in the champion select there, especially in this top lane, as we've seen quite a bit of Womumu on the Gnar having that earlier game advantage. So if red side here, if Land Down Under can hold out until later game and not fall too far behind, they will have a further advantage later on, especially after we hit level 6 here in just a little bit.
Yeah, it's really going to be on the red team, on Land Down Under, to be able to hold on to as close of a gold differential, as little of a goal differential as possible for these two teams. British Blaze trying to engage onto Womumu, but getting kited out. Womumu, obviously, like we said earlier, very good at Gnar and also very good at kiting by virtue of being Gnar.
And look at that
Two
ward
junglers
Danger
finding
Moose
each other.
walked in and played. Oh, he may be finding a cane here while going after Scuttle.
A flash does end up securing the Scuttle there. Danger Moose getting awfully low. He's going to have to flash, but he does end up falling to the malefic visions of Chirudo. Meanwhile, the fight is kind of split in half here. Super soft at half health. Chirudo also down on mana, but able to continue to push Super Soft in. Super Soft, though, does have the corrupting potions, so he will be able to heal up a tiny bit, get a little bit of mana back. Reaver coming in, the ultimate from Chirudo will try to secure the kill here. Reaver is back out. Ultimate burned by Super Sop, no kills.
And that's an exchange of ultimates there, which I'm sure Super Sop does not mind after, it was a 2v1 gank invaded. And Reaver now we've already seen in lane. We did see Nocturne pushing far into the enemy jungle, not getting into lane, but at least poking around, getting some vision down. So Reaver making the quick entry into the laning phase as opposed to staying in that jungle for a while. But now the flash down for both of those junglers, so maybe we'll see a little bit less of them, or even at that point a little bit more of an aggression into potentially the bot lane, since that's where I assume after this mid lane we're going to see a little bit more action.
Yeah, once these two junglers are revealed to each other, I would imagine that Danger Moose is going to try and get a cheeky invade off to try and catch Reaver. He is up a longsword in damage. He does not have the second jungle item, though Reaver has opted into the Stalker's Blade. He has instead gone for the Caulfield's Warhammer. The cooldown reduction plus the extra attack damage, at 15 attack damage, in fact, combined with his passive, would mean that he is a stronger duelist at level 5 than Reaver is. But it doesn't look like he is going to go for that invade just yet. Perhaps the early damage from Reaver, kind of fighting him in the river there, is making him a little afraid. Meanwhile, nothing else really happening just yet. This is a rather quiet laning phase aside from that one brief skirmish we had in the river. Not really a whole lot to talk about from the play-by-play side.
Well, and that's kind of surprising, actually, given the composition that we have here from the Scuttle squad. You would assume that they would want to start those early invades. Again, Reaver was the first one, being on the opposite side, to actually invade onto a lane. But we want to see the quick
And there
play.
goes Danger Moose with the ultimate paranoia on to British Blaze. British Blaze does use the E and the flash to get away. The fear does go off, but since fear sends you away from the person that feared you, he is still under tower. A nice response here by Reaver, noticing that Danger Moose was in the top lane. Reaver is able to rotate with his mid lane and bot lane on to this dragon. He's waiting for the dragon to get awfully low before not smiting, because he does not have smite. A little risky there, but they do end up picking it up off of Sailor Peach's auto attack, actually. So a dragon secured for Team Down Under in response to the unsuccessful gank in the top lane. A well done rotation by them.
And that's definitely helpful for them, especially towards that bottom lane. We do already see a big differential in the CS from this Kaisa versus the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw now at 55 to 75. So 20 CS behind at less than 10 minutes in is already starting to cause a differential in the numbers we can see. Almost a 1k gold difference, really, from that and the dragon.
Yeah, also we do see in the jungle a bit of a problem here between the two junglers as far as their different farm numbers going. Danger Moose ends up taking down Reaver, and British Blaze actually kills Womumu off screen with that ultimate awesome ultimate that kind of just kills everyone when they're really low, and whose name I am forgetting. Fear Beyond Death, that's what it's called. But yeah, like I said there, we did see Danger Moose go in, invade Reaver's jungle, and actually manage to pick him up due to the AD difference and the passive power that Danger Moose can put out on this Nocturne. So well done by them, picking up some skills. The gold difference now about 500 as opposed to 1,000, which it was a moment ago.
And it is nice seeing as well all of the wards that are being put up by Land Down Under, definitely giving them a little bit of an ahead earlier in the game to prevent blue side from maybe toppling over them, doing more damage than they would prefer, so that they can get to the later game here, because that's exactly where they want to be, especially now with this Urgot being 1-0-0, having that early advantage over the Gnar is going to help them out very much.
And here we see the Paranoia going in onto Reaver again. He does try to flash away, and the kill is gifted over to Voodoo, but then picked up by the red buff by Danger Moose. Danger Moose now 2-1. Very, very strong. He's doing everything in his power to make sure Reaver stays shut down. It's going to become a bit of a problem as the game goes on for Team Land Down Under. Having that Kane being behind.
And it's no surprise here that Nocturne is out for the hunt, trying to prevent Reaver from doing the damage. I mentioned a couple times already, Kane is a very common champion for Reaver, and we've seen quite a bit of prowess on him so far. So shutting him down early game will absolutely help this team prevent the Scuttle squad from actually making it into a later game.
British Blaze going to be doing a little bit of poke damage, but actually taking more poke damage in return. Super Sop again eating that space aids as he duels with Chirudo. But in this particular instance, Danger Moose does secure that Scuttle. Very, very important. That's a lot of golden experience over onto Danger Moose. Danger Moose pushing him farther ahead. The gold has peaked at 1,000 mark again. Well, Mumu here as Mega Gnar, probably not going to do too much, though. You still do not want to engage on Urgot at this stage of the game. He is a boot up on Lamumu right now. The extra movement speed does actually matter for Urgot with the way his shotgun moves work. They are going to fight a little bit, though.
We haven't seen much activity down here in the bottom lane. Most of the ganks that we have seen, or honestly the interactions that we've seen between these two junglers, are within the river or towards the mid lane and the top lane. Most of the pings and wards have been going down there. So maybe some rotation from this bottom lane should be necessary from really either of these teams to speed this game up. Almost 13 minutes into the game, and really only 2-2, not a single tower down. So not a lot of damage coming from either of these teams. They're very, very level at the moment. And I want to see a spike
going in here onto Chirudo. He is going to end up falling after using his ultimate, that a Nether Grass. I do believe Danger Moose actually managed to spell shield that. So very well done by Danger Moose. They're actually going to be able to pick up Reaver here as well as he goes in off of a very nice E. Never move by Super Sop. They're going to do some damage onto this tower, but the teleport by British Blaze will ensure that they do not take the tower, but that does mean that his own tower up in the top lane is going to be in danger from Mumu. Fair bit of damage going to be going down on that tower as well. The Scuttle squad doing a significant amount of map pressure here. No towers falling just yet, but that brick gold is hovering on the horizon. I do imagine Scuttle squad will be picking that up very soon. Almost 3,000 gold in their favor now. In any case, nothing really much else happening right now. Again, the farm differential favoring Chirudo actually in the mid lane, but in that bot lane, a significant farm advantage for Voodoo. That's certainly going to be helpful in trying to establish this lead. It's going to be really up to Chirudo and eventually Hahaka to try and come back from this game. Also, that spell shield doing work for Chirudo there to avoid those never moves. Jolly, are you alive? Okay, my co-caster is currently having some microphone issues, so I will solo cast until they can come back in. Okay, looks like we're gonna have an actual dragon. Thank you, thank you, Team Down Under, for giving me something to talk about. They are actually looking at that second mountain drake. They do pick up the Scuttle. They're actually going to back away from the dragon because they do see that Voodoo and Kagoro have managed to push in the lane and are able to rotate faster. British Blaze actually heading down the river, but he's going to go ahead and back. Super Stop is going to be attacked here by Chirudo. He's going to pop the ultimate. The paranoia does go in. Chirudo actually going to be the one that falls. The stopwatch ensuring that Super Stop does not fall. Another very nice engage there by Danger Moose using the paranoia. Chirudo trying so hard to do something here. Nothing really coming out of it though. Kagoro able to get onto Hahaka, but the buffered flash does ensure that he's not able to continue the fight, and Hahaka gets right out. Excuse me, I'm going to need to cough a second. Excuse me. In any case, it's about 3,000 gold now, just over 3,000 gold in favor of the blue team, in favor of that Scuttle squad, who's making Scuttle such a contested objective, but right now it is on the side of Land Down Under that they've able to pick up the Scuttle. The Gromp does reset, which means Danger Moose and Super Stop need to get the heck out of here or they're going to fall. Vision is going to go in favor of the Land Down Under as well. Land Down Under doing an excellent job, even while behind, of trying to maintain pressure. Very, very well done by them to be able to do so. British Blaze and Ramumu continuing to do not necessarily a wet noodle fight, but speaking of wet noodle fights, I do have a co-caster now. His name is Penguin God, and he is going to be talking in just a second here. Isn't that right, Penguin?
Yes, hello, Ken. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm glad I no longer have to solo cast.
Yep, I'm going to be hopping in while Jolly figures out her mic issues. But yeah, we have an interesting game going on here. While we've seen the Scuttle squad have some pretty dominant effects coming out of Danger Moose, really good ganks coming off on him, using his abilities properly. We haven't seen much in the way coming out from Land Down Under, except they're the only ones that have had a dragon so far. They tried to get that second dragon, it didn't go over very well for them, and so that needs to be the next point of contention for them, is fighting over those neutral objectives. They have a really good team fight and a lot of good lockdown with Chirudo, but Chirudo needs to play this very, very well to make sure that he can lock down the that really, really fed Nocturne. Because you have to remember, when you have a comp like this with a really far ahead assassin, with a 5-1-0 Nocturne, if that Nocturne goes down, you just lose the fight, because no one else has any gold. There's so much funneled onto this one Nocturne. If he goes down after he goes in, he's donezo. And the team
Blue team
as well.
is going to be able to pick up that dragon there. I did want to point out that it's actually, yeah, like you said, almost all of the gold differential is focused on to Danger Moose on this Nocturne. Almost 3,000 gold ahead of his opponent Reaver on this team. So very, very strong for him. Jolly says she may have fixed her microphone. Jolly, can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Oh, I've been able to hear you the whole time. Hopefully you can hear me now, though.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
we can definitely hear you.
Excellent. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Apparently EU is not kind to me. I've been having a bit of audio delay.
Paranoia going in on the Cog Maw here. Voodoo actually managing to pick up Hahaka as the fight progresses. The Ikathian surprise not able to pick up anyone, but the fight has more or less ended off of that death by Hahaka. Very well done by Danger Moose, but the kill does go over to Voodoo. Very important that Voodoo does pick up that kill, because as our special guest caster, I'm Can Opener Dude. As our special guest caster Penguin said, you do want to try and get some kills onto the rest of your team if you're Danger Moose now, because if you fall in the fight, ain't much that your team's going to be able to do because they don't have any gold. So very, very well done by him to be able to hand that kill over to Voodoo, and no kills in return. It is now 6,000 gold almost in favor of the Scuttle squad.
And that was first tower as well, going over to the Scuttle squad just a moment ago. So first one on the board, almost 20 minutes in. Again, a bit of a slow start here, but the Scuttle squad is able to keep the pressure onto Land Down Under and prevent them from maybe jumping ahead. But yes, you and Penguin God made some very excellent points. The rest of this team does need to group together. They need to take advantage of these advantages as a team. One member, unless you're funneling them.
British Blaze going to try and go in on Lamumu, but that does not end up working. I apologize for interrupting you, but EU Client decides to lag when it wants and give us fights when it decides. We do see 3 in the mid lane now. It looks like they're actually maybe going for a lane swap here. No, they're going to A-Ram it. No, they're going to lane switch. No, they're going to A-Ram it. Okay.
Baron now live as well, so maybe a point of contest here in the future. No vision from either team really up around there at the moment, though.
Yeah, we just have that one lonely blue ward courtesy of Supersop. Supersop actually doing very, very well for himself as well in this game. He's gotten engaged upon a couple times by Chirudo and managed to actually stay alive, maintaining that 0-0-3 scoreline. So despite the fact that he doesn't have a kills and he is in fact 40 CS behind, he is only about 600 gold behind Malzahar Chirudo on this Malzahar, which means he's only about an amp tone behind, which is very, very important for him because you do want Swain to be able to be a frontline in these team fights with his ultimate. That has not changed with the rework. Now we do see British Blaze trying to push in this top lane to try and get a tower, any kind of tower return here, because the mid lane tower has fallen as well. Looking kind of bad for team down under, Land Down Under right now.
There's
Okay, and Reaver is not going to be able to do anything there. He does end up getting hit by the Eye of Malice, I believe it's called. Paranoia does end up going out on to Chirudo. Danger Moose again going in. He is able to get the fear off, and Supersop actually manages to pick up the kill. Reaver now going on to Danger Moose. Danger Moose has been shut down, and now with Supersop ulted but surrounded by other teams, he is going to end up falling to the Fear Beyond the Grave by British Blaze, and now trying to get onto Kagoro. He is going to be able to do some significant damage and actually pick up the kill with that shotgun knee, final shotgun knee under Kagoro. A nice turnaround, closing the gold to almost 5,000. Still in favor of Team Scuttle Squad, but they are able to pick up a tower in response to Wamumu in the top lane picking up a tower. The inner tower looks like it may fall as well. Towers certainly are made of paper right now.
And before that engage, I was going to mention, we had an 0-1 and 0 Kog'Maw on the bottom lane, and at the time, 50 to 60 CS down, so only one unfinished item and just a dagger for some attack speed. They're not even finished boots from him, so we need to see a bit of a bump on the bottom lane here from the red side. Otherwise, there's not much that they're going to be able to do later game. Yes, they have the Kayn, they have the Urgot, and they've got a Malzahar that was relatively well off, not so much anymore. So that bottom lane needs to partake in more than just attempting to get CS and dying.
Yeah, they certainly do, and we do now see that Hahaka has finished those boots and has picked up 2 more daggers as well, probably going to be going into his heal item. I would imagine, given how the team is this far behind, that Zeal item may end up being a Phantom Dancer, though it may end up being a Gwynzoo's instead. Danger Moose getting a little bit cut out here, but he is able to escape with some help from his friends. We do see that a Air Drake, a Cloud Drake, is going to be spawning in about 15 seconds. This is more or less completely in Scuttle Squad's hands. They really cannot be contested here. They are going to pick up the Scuttle as well, squatting up that Scuttle. That one ward on the Baron side going to fall, though. So no vision on the Baron side. This is something that I think the red team, Land Down Under, should be trying to capitalize on. Mumu going to get a stun off on British Blaze, but nothing else. Teams grouping up now.
Yes, which is exactly what we want to see, and it looks like now Scuttle Squad, again, having the advantage here. Land Down Under is just peeling away, trying to navigate their way under tower, but they're putting themselves in a position to potentially be split off from one another here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Land Down Under really doesn't have a whole lot of options for navigating their jungle. With all three of the outer towers down, they have to cede a lot of control over to the Scuttle squad. But being Kane, Reaver does have the ability to kind of navigate a bit safer than most champions would. So there is that paranoia onto Charuto yet again. He does end up channeling Malefic Visions, not Malefic Visions, Nether Grass, but it does not matter. Both he and Reaver will fall again. And now it's on to the mid-inner for Team Scuttle Squad. The Malefic Visions will take down the minions, though, but the turret will still fall. And has Reaver even managed to pick up his evolved darkened form yet? And there goes Danger Moose, being picked up by British Blaze with the Fear Beyond Death. Very nice pickup there by British Blaze to try and get something back. He's now 4-0. He is this team's one shining light in this situation right here. He is going to need to carry until Hahaka can start scaling up. So it's really all on this top laner in British Blaze to do something to keep this game alive.
And that Nocturne was certainly one that they wanted to take down. He does have a Quicksilver Sash as well, so he's throwing himself in there. If he gets caught out, he does have that easy out for the Malzahar ultimate and the Nami bubble. So playing it safely there, even though he is doing so much damage as well. 5-3-4 up against his lane opponent, 0-4-4, and up a very, very good amount of CS here, about 65 CS up on this Kane, though the other lanes are making up for that.
All right, and we are exactly at the flame horizon in the bot lane here. Voodoo hitting that 260 CS mark, exactly 100 above Hahaka here. Very, 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 very difficult to come back from, but I do have faith in the Kog'Maw. We'll have to see whether he's able to do anything here. The top lane turret will fall for Scuttle Squad. Now, doing something to try and come back in this game, trying to find anything they can do. Very, very difficult.
They're not incredibly far behind. They're not playing as well as they should be at this instance. They do need to play a little bit safer. Seeing the builds on both sides as well. The Scuttle Squad, even though they are far ahead, they are still building items that will help them escape, that will help them disengage from a potential lock-in fight. Whereas most of what we're seeing from Land Down Under is just that heavy engage. So if the 5 of them, 4 of them, even 1 gets caught out and is in a place they don't really want to be, they're heading more for that extreme damage for a 5v5 team fight, which yes, is what they want from this team comp, but not so much at the situation that they're in now, being far behind, or being even just a little far behind.
And Reaver has finally managed to pick up the darkened form here, the correct form to go for in a situation like this. He does need that CC, and he's going to need that extra health and healing that Rust provides. So very, very good choice by him to be able to pick that up. And it's been a while, 27 minutes in now. I'm not sure exactly when he managed to get that, but certainly later into the game than he probably wanted.
Same likely with what's going on with this Kog'Maw here. 0-1-2 as opposed to a 2-0-2 Kai'Sa. Very far behind, close to 100 CS behind actually here. Just a recurve bow on Triforce that he has. And so 2 finished items from his lane opponent. He needs to deal some more damage because the second he gets soloed out, he is immediately getting picked off. So very, very squishy. So that support has to stick on him like glue right now.
Yeah, and that is something that Sailor Peach is going to be able to do, being that very Enchanter-ish style of support. The Baron actually started up for Team Scuttle Squad. They do have singular vision on this. Red team not really responding, Land Down Under, not sure if they don't know or just think they can't contest. Either way, Baron is going to end up falling. Danger Moose is going to be able to pick that up, pick up some honey fruits, and continue on his way.
And that's going to give them about a 6k gold lead here, now about 29 minutes into this game. Close on Dragons, a mountain for either side, and a Cloud Drake going there over to the Scuttle Squad. And they're using it, or they did use it very, very well to their advantage here. Reaver trying to pick up what he can, but again, they need to play this relatively safe. Their positioning isn't great in these team fights, and the Nocturne is getting the better of them.
Yeah, with the Nocturne being this far ahead, they do need to play very safely, but they also need to make some plays. I'm not sure whether they should start being proactive or just wait for their opponents to make a mistake, because everyone makes mistakes even at the LCS level. If they can catch out a couple of these Scuttle Squad members, they might be able to pull off a comeback, but here comes the paranoia on to onto Sailor Peach. Sailor Peach does not end up falling, except when Super Stop manages to come in. That is a suppressed Danger Moose, but the blue team, Team Scuttle Squad, managing to pick up 4 now. That's actually 5. We did see that one actually managed to die on the offside when he did not see it. The very nice little graphical bug of a Zanya sound going to accompany the end of the game, actually. Game ends up ending off of that one singular team fight, really the only 5v5 we've had in the past 10 minutes. Very, very dominant game there by the side of Scuttle Squad.
A bit of a scary engage there towards the end, but a very, very confident Nocturne at that. It worked out incredibly well for them. They timed it perfectly. And a back and forth game, yes, but towards the end, Scuttle Squad definitely had it in their hands to snag that victory.
Yeah, and just one thing I'm going to check here while we're here. It actually ends up being Malzahar that has the highest damage Delta champions, almost 4,000 damage more than Nocturne, but in the end, it really did not matter. That Nocturne Danger Moose here being the absolute legend in this game. Voodoo ending up 5-0 as well. Very, very well played by the entire Team Scuttle Squad, being able to just completely get a stranglehold on this game. So very well done by them. We're actually going to take a slight break here as we work towards our game 3, in which we will be seeing, I believe, these same 2 teams up against each other, Scuttle Squad and Land Down Under, but they will be switching sides. Land Down Under taking that blue side for this second game. So stay with us. We're going to get some more funky music, and then we will be back.
hold on. I'll never surrender, and our love strong. This is forever. This is forever. I stayed up for the blue moon, but I woke up in the dark. There's a tear across the sky tonight that's echoed in my heart. I see your truth, the strength that lays buried at your root. I know you're beautiful, tethered by the path you had to choose. I've watched Diana cross the sky, slowly dancing past 1,000 eyes. They can't see her disguise or break through her armor of light. But I know you're true, the strength that lays buried at your root. I know you're beautiful, tethered by the path you had to choose.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the third show match of this wonderful Sunday. My name is, again, Can Opener Dude, and this time I am joined by the wonderful, the amazing, the incredible Demos.
Hello guys, how's everybody doing today? Right out the gate, we have a Kindred and a Zoe ban.
Yep, these are pretty standard bans considering these teams. We've seen them across a last game, and I believe the first game, I believe at least one of them was played, but those bans are definitely things that we were expecting to see. Vladimir, of course, very, very strong right now. Definitely going to get that off the table. And the Nocturne taking that off the table because Danger Moose is very dangerous on this Nocturne.
Interestingly enough, over here from the blue side, we have 3 jungle bans. Danger Moose must be incredibly dangerous indeed, with a Rakan coming out finally from the red side.
Yeah, with the past 2 games, I don't know if you've been busy not paying attention or anything there, Demos, but yes, Danger Moose has definitely been carrying for the past couple games, and now we see him pick up the Trundle as well. That's a less of a carry, but certainly still a very dangerous pick there.
Absolutely, and I like the counter jungle pick coming out from the blue side. The Rengar can't exactly be altered by the Trundle and lets him dual Trundle out a bit more in the jungle, especially post 6.
Yes, but we do, it does, however, mean that Trundle is then able to ult the Scion. Having that Ultra Tank in the top lane is good for the land down under, but it does mean that Trundle has an easy target to just press R on and then stand in the middle of a team fight. So, bit of a disadvantage there for picking that super tank. We do see Voodoo going to be able to pick up the Kai'Sa again, a very, very strong ADC pick for them. Overall, a very similar team comp to the previous game for Team Scuttle Squad.
And we have the absolute makings of a Wombo composition here from the blue side with the Scion, the Orianna, the Morgana, and the Pike. Just absolutely, if they get caught in an Orianna ult, there's not much they're going to be able to do, even with their Swain and their Camille.
Yeah, that's certainly going to end very badly for them. I can see it happening in my head, but the real question is, will it actually happen? They can actually even do a submarine there with Rengar, put the ball on him, and have him go in stealth and jump on them. So certainly going to be a lot of fun to see that happening. A very, very quick pick and ban phase here for both teams. I'm very excited to see how the jungle progresses. Reaver last game not really having a whole lot of pressure. Let's see if he can do a little bit better on this Rengar. Meanwhile, on the other side, same bot lane, same mid laner, slightly different jungler, and a top lane matchup that will again favor Wamumu. So certainly I'm going to have to give it over to Team Scuttle Squad this time.
Definitely agreed. And even with the Wombo composition coming out here, we have the Nami disengaged to really mess up anybody who doesn't catch her with that. And Kaisa being able to just ulti back out. It's going to be very difficult for them to actually lock down this squad.
Yeah, so with that being said, we are going to go ahead and count down the spectator delay with some funky music here. But I am very excited to see specifically how this jungle matchup progresses, and that's certainly what I'm going to be focusing on, assuming that something crazy doesn't happen in one of the other lanes. So stay with us, and we will be back in just a couple minutes, probably about 3, unless Oz decides to delay us somehow once we're in game. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back in just a second.
This road's too long, I can't make it on my own steam. But it won't be long, once in a while we're allowed to dream that we're gonna make it through the night. We're gonna journey to the light. We're gonna make it through the night. We're gonna make it through the dark. We're gonna find out who we are. We're gonna make it through the dark. No one can tell us who we are. That only love can ignite. And I'm fine with this. I wouldn't have it any other way. 'Cause we were made for this. You and me, we're gonna fly away. But we're gonna make it through the night. We're gonna journey to the light. We're gonna make it through the night. We're gonna make it through the dark. We're gonna find out who we are. We're gonna make it through the dark. No one can tell us who we are. That only love can ignite. The sun will rise. The sun will rise. And the sun will rise. The sun will rise. We're gonna make it through the night. We're gonna journey to the light. We're gonna make it through the night. We're gonna make it through the dark.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to the Learning 5 show matches. My name is again Can Opener Dude. I am joined here again by KR Demos, or just regular demos if you prefer. We are into game 3, this being between the Land Down Under and Team Scuttle Squad? Team Scuttle Squad, those guys. In any case, they have switched sides now. Team Scuttle Squad now on the red side, despite winning the previous game. Hahaka and the rest on Land Down Under going to be going for a cheeky little invade here. Nothing really going to come of it. However, they will again spot out the bot lane. However, this time they do not realize that Danger Moose is actually starting on the top side of the map.
Yep, this is a pretty standard start from a Trundle, starting on his red buff here. He's probably going to go look for a Scuttle Crab at level 2 and invade Rengar.
That's going to be a lot of fun here. I just figured out, I just actually lost my train of thought. So, am I color or are you color, Demos? I don't remember.
I actually don't know either, Can, so you can be whichever one you would like to be.
Okay, well, you're higher rank, so you can go ahead and be the color, and I'll go ahead and just yell at things. Okay, well, never mind. Penguins told us no. So instead, I'm going to be the color and you be the play-by-play. So we do have a pretty standard start here. As you said, nothing much more is going to happen at this level 1, I imagine. Other than that really sick-ass Rengar skin there.
Yeah, indeed.
Nice.
So,
in any case, I'm sorry, it's just like, wow. I never, they even got the skin synergy with the top lane here. Mecha Cyan and Mecha Rengar, certainly going to be very interesting. Rengar going for a ward on the blue side of his opponent, Danger Moose here. These two junglers, having played against each other before now, certainly are going to be aware of each other's predilections and try to do what they can to play around each other. Voodoo already getting a pretty significant advantage in this bot lane.
okay. From what you've been telling me, Danger Moose here is definitely the guy to watch out for in this series. As a Trundle here, what do you think he's really going to be looking to do to get his team to really snowball and get that advantage?
Yeah, I do agree here that that I did in fact say that. Danger Moose is the person to watch in these games. Trundle, of course, going to be slightly less of a hyper carry than a Nocturne would be. Mumu doing a little bit of poking in the top lane.
He's really messing that Scion up, but getting a little bit of poke damage back.
Now remember, we are on EU, so please bear with us if the client does lag. We are trying to get it fixed as Hahaka goes in and then goes back out. Well, Mumu out of mana right now. This could certainly be dangerous if he gets caught out here by Reaver.
And we definitely had Scion looking for him with those minions, but unfortunately just slightly out of range, wasn't able to get that slowdown on him.
Yeah, nothing much really going on here for either of us to really talk about. A pretty standard laning phase. The only thing I'd really like to bring attention to is the pathing of the two junglers. We did see Reaver go into that top lane to try and get a gank off, but it was already kind of spotted out by the ward. Now we see Danger Moose going
gank
in.
here in the mid lane and just a flash right out by Chirito. Doesn't want to risk it with that pillar coming out from Trundle.
Yeah, very good, very standard flash there by Chirito, probably for the best there. Chirito actually a very dependable mid lane from what we saw last game. He really didn't have that much room to shine in that previous game because he was, you know, getting beat down by Danger Moose, but he knows what he's doing, and I expect him to do fairly well in this lane as Orianna, a much safer pick than the mouse bar.
We see Scion trading in the top lane there a little bit, not much coming out of it. Since we don't have much going on right now, what can you tell me about this Morgana Pike bot lane without an AD carry?
Yeah, this is certainly going to be very interesting. Obviously, the Morgana going to be picking up the farm for the most part in this particular setup. You can actually retool it and have Pike be the one to pick up the farm. Does scale very well with items, considering that he does actually get AD from picking up health items. But in this particular instance, I do agree that the Morgana is the one you're going to want to be giving the farm. And how this is basically going to work is it's just going to be a CC train. Either the Pike, either Hahaka or Sailor Peach either of them can really land a hard CC on to specifically Kagoro, who is going to be the one they're aiming for in this particular matchup. Because you go for Voodoo, if you don't kill them, Kagoro is just going to heal them up. So they go for Kagoro here and try and set up a more of a just seeing if there's anything going on in the top lane here. Something might be going down. Nope, Danger Moose is just hanging out for his own health there. But as I was saying, either one lands the hard CC, the other one follows it up. It's actually usually going to be Hahaka that's going to land the original hard CC. They're going for a tower dive here.
And that's definitely not something you want to try to do against Scion. Looks
Yeah,
like the
no.
pillar came out a little late, and they just weren't able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, but as you can see here, there we go, Hahaka landing that Q there. I believe it's not called Dredge Line because that's in fact Bone Skewer, because Dredge Line is Nautilus's Q that is very, very similar to Pike's. The two junglers...
Trundle is messed up here. Is he going to go down to this Rengar? He flashes out, but here comes Scion. First blood goes over to Reaver, 570. Bit of a cheeky invade there from Trundle that didn't pay out for him.
Yeah, Reaver is going to be feeling himself pretty heavily after that one. Very, very well done to be able to pick up that kill. They've been trying so hard to shut down Danger Moose last game. Being able to pick him up this game, certainly going to help them a lot. Hahaka going to need to burn that W to be able to get out of that dangerous situation there. But yeah, it's basically just going to be a hard CC train with the Morgana Pike bot lane, and then you just kind of whittle them down until you can finally kill them.
Oh, and we have the ult coming out from British Blaze. Misses. The Q comes out. The stun from Rengar, but they just weren't able to get him. And as Camille hits this level 6, you definitely don't want to dive that, as she'll be able to dodge all of your abilities coming in.
Yes, the Hextech Ultimatum will make it very, very difficult to dive on to this Camille. Of course, Scion being one of the few champions that would be able to still trade a kill in that situation, but it still would not be a very good situation. British Blaze already level 7, however, so he's going to head back with that level advantage, with an 11 farm advantage, and try and do what he can here. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Voodoo Eardens already a significant farm lead of about 19, almost 20 CS ahead of his opponent, Sailor Peach, which is a bit of a strange one considering Sailor Peach actually has a completely safe method of farming with that W. I imagine that they will start picking up more farm as the game goes on, and they can put some more points into that W. They may actually be maxing their Q, and I will in fact check that for us right now. No, they are maxing the W, so certainly something they are going to be wanting to be doing in order to get as much farm as possible in this lane, because otherwise Voodoo's just going to be able to completely stomp all over them, being a significantly stronger early game and late game pusher than Sailor Peach will be on this Morgana.
Absolutely, and we had Pike going for a little bit of a cheeky invade there to get a deep ward, and now he is stuck in the Dragon Pit as the Morgana Bind comes out, and there's nothing he can do except flash over the wall because he did not have his cooldowns. But Camille goes in the top lane fighting on this Scion, and Scion just doesn't care. He's not taking any damage at all, and he's just going to walk away, actually going even in that trade, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, if they'd been a little bit farther from British Blaze's tower there, I would have imagined that Wumumu would have actually gone for the ultimate there at the last second to dodge the Q, and that would have actually changed how that fight's dynamic worked very significantly, and Wumumu may have actually been able to pick up the kill. However, British Blaze would have his passive in Glory Beyond Death, and that would have certainly been a very close and tense situation. But c'est la vie. That's not what happened. The dragon is picked up here by Danger Moose. It is going to be an Infernal Drake. 500 gold in favor of Team Land Down Under. That Infernal Drake will certainly do some work to help bring that lead back.
Definitely, and we seem to have a bit of an impasse here. It's 10 minutes into the game. We only have one kill picked up by Land Down Under here, I believe, as Camille goes in the top lane again. Scion can't do anything but walk away. He's not going to die, but he ults back in to go for the fight. The unstoppable Hextech Ultimatum comes out, and Mamumu gets the kill onto British Blaze. Excellently played. And he's just going to walk away. Scion passive, unable to do anything there.
Yeah, the only real mistake I can point out there by British Blaze is the fact that there's a gank in the mid lane.
And I don't think much is going to happen here. Oh, but the ult comes out from Choricho, and Danger Moose goes down. Rengar ults in. He's going to miss his snare, but he lands the second one. And as Super Soup goes golden, the Pike ult comes out, but the double kill goes onto Choricho there. What happened there, Ken?
Well, a lot of things happened there. So, in reverse order there, what exactly happened is the Haka managed to use the ult, so I do believe all of them managed to get a cut from that. That's a significant portion of gold there. But what really went down there is that Danger Moose went a little bit too far. This is something that does happen with him when he does not have that lead yet in the early game.
And we have the Nami wave coming out. The bubble! Oh, but Nami gets pulled in, has to flash out. We have Kaisa binded on the side, but not much is going to happen other than that mid tower falling.
Yep, so that mid tower does fall, so that is a good old piece of gold there for Team Land Down Under as well. But anyways, as I was saying, what really went down there is that Danger Moose went a little bit too ham, and then Chiruta was able to just turn around, use that ultimate, pick up the kill on Danger Moose fairly easily, and then with Reaver being right there, using the thrill of the hunt, being able to get into that fight and just absolutely, well, jump, I guess, would be the safe for work term for it, and get on to Super Stop, who then used his stopwatch, but that didn't really matter at that point, so very, very well done by them. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, another fight happening.
In the top lane, the pillar comes out after the Camille dash, but Sion's just going to flash out, not willing to risk it with that Hextech ultimatum coming up soon for Camille.
Yeah, and I did want to talk about that previous gank at the top lane. The only real mistake there by British Blaze was the fact that he used his Q and then used his ultimate to re-engage. The thing about Sion's ultimate is that no matter how long it's actually been channeled for as you're running towards them, even if you just instant ult in their faces, you can still get a fully charged Q off on it afterwards. So it probably would have been better for him to try and keep up the pressure on Wumumu until his Q came back off cooldown, then ult to re-engage so he could get the Q down. Wumumu, again, taking some damage down. Press the attack working very well for Wumumu in this situation.
Oh, and we have Rengar ulting into the top lane. The Orianna ult misses, and Nami is just going to walk onto her tower. The ult, but the bind comes out from Morgana. Sailor Peach getting the kill. Kai'Sa ulting in, has to flash back out as the red spike goes down, but she gets Reaver hit the kill, but the dive is continuing to happen. The Pike ult comes out as Morgana goes golden. Swain walking down here with the W, but it looks like he's not going to be able to pick anybody up as the minions help them escape.
Yeah, and that is going to be the cut. We did see the icon there pop up for them, so they get a significant portion of gold there. Now, 2,000 gold in favor of Land Down Under. Very, very commanding lead in this early game as compared to the last game. Danger Moose actually up in the top lane, looking to possibly do something against British Blaze here.
And the Hextech ultimatum comes out, but so does the pillar, and we know British Blaze has no flash from earlier, and he's going to go down to Danger Moose's Tiamat proc there. And British Blaze is just going to try to farm some minions. It looks like he gets one, and this might be a tower push in the top lane here from the Scuttle squad.
Yeah, they're actually not going to go for the tower push here, which is something that I actually consider a mistake because they are a tower behind now, and getting that tower would put them back on even footing as far as gold goes. So a bit of a mistake there, especially with Danger Moose being such a good tower pusher. Reaver getting caught out there by the Never Move, but not really much of a problem there. I do consider it a mistake for them to not go for the tower push there, because there was no one to respond to it either.
Absolutely agree here. And so, tell me, Ken, if you're Land Down Under here, my apologies, if you're the Scuttle squad here and you're down 2 kills, you're down a little bit of CS, and you're down a tower, what should you really be looking to do to try to get yourself back into this game, get this Kaisa some of her items?
Well, the first thing you want to do is focus on objectives. The next dragon is coming up in 30 seconds, and it is a mountain drake, so you do want to go for that. Meanwhile, a fight is happening.
And as you say that, Nami gets caught up on Pike, but it looks like Pike got caught out. Actually, the Morgana find whiffs as Reaver comes in to clean up some kills here. It's a 1-for-1 right now. It's a 2-for-1 as Reaver picks up a double kill. He's running from danger moves, but Oriana Shockwave comes out to say, no, you're not going anywhere. But here comes Super Soft on the Swain. He ults in. What are they going to do here? The Morgana ult comes out as well, blocks him up under the tower. We see a TP canceled by somebody, I believe, and it looks like they're just going to walk out, and not much else is going to happen.
Yeah, that was a very, very good trade for land down under there. They were able to pick up 2-for-1, but they are ahead. So it's something that most people want to bear in mind, that even if you do get a favorable trade, if you're ahead, that's still not exactly what you want to be doing, because when you're in a situation like land down under is in right now, where you have basically control of the first half of the middle of the map, in the top lane things are happening, not much is going to really happen here as British Blaze tries to back off. But when you're about 1,000 gold ahead, you can't really afford to take a 2-for-1 trade, because while yes, you're still getting a favorable trade, that one kill is gold in the pockets of an enemy, and they're the ones that need gold. You're the ones that are ahead. You don't need gold as much as they do. So giving them any sort of gold is a bit of a negative for a team that's ahead in this very close match here. So in that kind of situation, you actually want to be, I guess, in a way to word it would be playing a little bit safer. You want to try and pick up kills, sure, and you want to try and push objectives, but you want to try and do it in a way, if you can go for low risk, low reward plays, that's certainly a much better option than a high risk, high reward play when you're ahead, because you're risking the lead that you already have for a lead that you might not get, and you're actually putting the opponent closer to you when you do actually succeed and yet still trade.
Definitely agree with you there, and it looks like we have the makings of a dragon fight here. At least we did, but it seems like the teams are too afraid to really take a 4v4 at this point in time, and just kind of walk out, conceding their vision back over to the Scuttle Squad.
Yeah, Scuttle Squad definitely wants to try and take this dragon. Having 2 dragons under their belt will be a really effective deterrent, especially it being a Mountain Drake and an Infernal Drake. It'll make tower pushes that much more deadly, especially with Danger Moose and Voodoo being such excellent tower pushers. And with Kagoro being on this Enchanter again, they're obviously going to be picking up an Ardent Sensor at some point in this game, making it even more of a danger. Trudeau flashing out.
And we have the Rengar coming there with his ult, probably looking for a fight. And he's still going for the Singe. The Shockwave comes out, and he just gets absolutely deleted. No time to react to that flash whatsoever.
And that's exactly what I was talking about in Champion Select. The Submarine from Chirudo and Reaver, they're very, very strong. Super Soft, no chance to react at all, like you said. And really, not really anything he could have done in that situation. The reverted Rengar is very, very strong. And now it's actually going to be land down under picking up this Mountain Drake, which is very, very important that they do, because now it puts them as the tower pushing extraordinaires, because they too have a very strong tower pushing team. Chirudo, very, very good. Clockwork Windup does not proc on towers, but it will proc on champions and charge on towers. And Revert, being reverted to the previous Rengar Q, makes him very, very strong at tower pushing. British Blaze also very strong at tower pushing, with the way Scion is able to push and escape. And they are actually able to get a bot lane tower here, starting to extend that lead. In the top lane, however,
Scuttle Squad goes for their own gank as the Scion Flash and the Unstoppable comes out. He's just going to run into tower, but that Trundle ult is still ticking, and it takes him down on the last tick. Danger Moose gets British Blaze at the very last second, and he's just going to look like they're going to try to take a top tower, but bot lane, we have a fight happening as well. The Nami wave comes out, but Raver just dodges it very easily, and we have land down under continuing to push this bot lane, looking for the inner tower here. Only Kaisa and Nami here to defend.
yeah, Scuttle Squad looking to get any sort of advantage they can. Danger Moose finally trying to push in this tower, a thing he should have been doing almost 11 minutes ago. They're able to take it out. Had they done this earlier, they probably would have been in a much better situation than they were now. but they do finally pick up that tower, and now it's very, very close. Only about 600 gold difference between the two teams. This is what I'm talking about. Those high risk, high reward plays have been working out for Land Down Under so far, but the gold difference is closing so much now that they really need to start buckling down and make safer plays, make picks where you find one person, pick them out, and then leave. Don't extend the fights. Just kind of play your game, play the slow game. You've got a very strong late game team. You are going to need to deal with Voodoo on this Kai'Sa if you go into the late game, but you've got some very strong champions in this game. So just kind of play it safe, play it back, farm up, and push in towers.
So while we have a little bit of an impasse here, not team doing really much of anything. Talk to me a little bit about how early this mid tower fell for Land Down Under here, and just how much control they've been able to garner because of it. And as I say that, we actually have a fight in the top lane. Mumu is running for his life, but Raver comes in, lands the slow. He's gonna get another jump. He does the jump, and we have the rampage for Chiruto. This man is a monster. We have a fight in the bot lane as well at the exact same time, but British plays too tanky, just gonna walk away.
Yeah, and that hero minion there playing Get Behind Me, Mr. President, being able to block the last proc of the Void Assault, which would have actually been Voodoo going in, I believe. Danger Moose now looking to push in this bot tower. Seems to be taking my my advice here and pushing in these towers. But like you were saying, the mid tower falling so early is a huge advantage for Land Down Under because they have such a mobile team. They have Hahaka on this pike. They have Reaver, whose Rankar is able to move around like nobody's business. Chiruto able to influence the map wherever he wants on this Orianna, one of the faster champions despite being immobile thanks to that W. So really a very, very effective way of opening up the map for them, getting that mid tower as it always is, but specifically for this team able to roam around, able to pick up kills all around the map. That mid tower is certainly going to be why they were able to do so. But now the gold is so close that it's really not going to matter a whole lot, assuming that the Scuttle squad can pick up that middle tower in return soon.
And speaking of Orianna here, Mr. Chiruto is absolutely massive, 402, 180 CS. All the gold difference that we're talking about here, it's actually on him. He's up 2,300 gold compared to Super Slop, 2,000 on the Swain.
Yeah, that's very, very strong. Orianna in the mid laner, got the Morellos, got the Ludens. Morello's going to be very, very helpful against Super Stop in particular. So I'm very excited to see Chiruto, how they play this mid game, and heading into late game, they're probably going to continue to use British Blaze and Reaver as ball delivery systems. It's certainly going to be very, very strong for them. Lumumu trying to do something, trying to stay ahead in this game. They've been doing very well as...
And speaking of him, we have a pick on him. Next, their ultimatum comes out, but it's not going to do anything. The Morgana Pike CC goes down as the cut comes out and gets Morgana a bit of gold herself, even with Pike finishing that kill.
300 gold for that Morgana here. That's very, very important. Lumumu has been completely controlling British Blaze in this lane, but that doesn't matter because British Blaze is a tank. Wamumu trying to play this carry top laner and not completely dominating the lane despite their lane opponent being 0-3 and 0 means that British Blaze is going to be that much more effective than they are in the late game.
We have a bit of a fight here as the shockwave comes out and it looks like Supersop is going to go down, and he does. We have Raver running away on the backline from Trundle here as we have flashes coming out, and we actually saw Kai'Sa TP to the tower there to try to get in there and hold, and it looks like it worked a little bit as we have a 1-for-none Raver almost falling in the end there.
Yeah, Reaver being very, very close to death. Reaver, he's doing something to do with ours. But very, very good that he didn't die there because, like I said before, you can't really be doing these trades when you're ahead. It's about 1,500 gold in favor of Team Land Down Under. If they had managed to pick up Reaver there, that would be closer to 900. So now we see the Dragon looking to be picked up by Team Scuttle Squad here. Very, very close.
And we actually have a steal!
Whoa! They do! They steal it!
Peach stealing it with the bind. Unexpected that nobody tried to body block that. And it looks like Land Down Under is just going to walk away with the free second Mountain Dragon. Definitely a scary thing to have on this team composition.
Yeah, they have a very, very strong pushing power, as I talked about earlier. Both of these teams have very strong pushing power, but those two Mountain Drakes are going to make that Baron fall very, very fast if they do go for that very soon. And they should be. I think the next team fight should be where they go for that Baron buff. If they can pick up Danger Moose and Wamumu, they can certainly go for this Baron without any sort of real... Wamumu, what kind of hook shot was that? In any case, it would be a very, very strong situation for them to go for this Baron if they are able to pick up the top laner and jungler for Team Scuttle Squad. Meanwhile, on the other side, Team Scuttle Squad would have to almost wipe them in order to pick up the Baron, because literally every person on the side of Land Down Under, those guys, everyone on their team is able to contest the Baron pretty much solo. Haka can pull people out and stun. Sailor Peach can use that ultimate with the Zanyas.
We have a hook on Nami here, and it looks like she's going to flash out and just walk away. Not much. Oh, but Rengar says, no, you're going to die today. But he gets re-engaged on by Wamumu. This does not look good for the Scuttle Squad as Wamumu goes down to Chirito again. This man is unstoppable. And it looks like we're going to have a Baron started up by Land Down Under.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. They pick up Wamumu, they weren't able to pick up Danger Moose, but now with two people down, it's going to be a 3v5. And with British Blaze over the wall here, he's actually not over the wall anymore, so they do want to be a little careful here.
Oh, we have the
a very
Shockwave
nice shot.
hitting too. Super Sop is almost dead, but he doesn't. We have Kaisa having to flash out, but she goes down to Sailor Peach's bind anyways. And we should probably see Land Down Under starting the Baron again, but they say no, we don't want to.
Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and push in at this point. With Voodoo down, there's really not a whole lot of defense here. British Blaze dueling with Danger Moose.
He's pretty tanky. He should be able to just walk right out of here with the Blast Plant, and as his team pushes up mid lane, we see a TP coming out from, I believe, Wamumu here. And the Nami ult as
barely able to get it off.
We see Wamumu wanting to take a fight here. He hextech ultimatums onto Hakaka, and he goes down. I pronounced that name wrong, but it doesn't matter. We have Swain pressing his ult button. He's running at them. You can't do anything unless you're faster than him. And it looks like we're going to have 3 people go down for Land Down Under. That is disastrous after just winning a team fight and getting a tower for themselves. So this is definitely a possible Baron here for the Scuttle Squad.
Now, my only question about that is it really running at them when Swain is in his ultimate? It's more of like a float, I guess.
Floating at them, I can't pronounce that word. Floating
menacingly.
at them. Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Again.
Okay, so yeah, well, he certainly did something at them, and it worked out in the end. British Blaze and Shiruto here, so they will have to turn on to
we have the Shockwave come up, and it hits too, but Kaiser ults right in, and Shiruto just gets obliterated, and British Blaze says, yeah, sorry guys, there's nothing I can do here. Looks like he's going to try to look for an E-steal or something, but he uses it onto Kaiser, who gets knocked up by his Q. He's going to take a ton of damages. Haka comes in with the ulti, the cut, getting the kill. Nami here is getting auto-attacked and gets cut down as well. This Baron is super low. British Blaze barely staying alive. He goes down, but the passage is going to come out. Who's going to get the Baron? And it gets secured by Danger Moose with the Smite. But that doesn't mean they're in a good position. Wamumu coming in. A triple kill for Haka as he goes down to Danger Moose. Danger Moose falls as well. And we're just going to have Reaver walking away here, but Wamumu says no. Reaver desperately trying to run away, but I don't think there's much you can do against this Camille, picking up a bunch of kills in that fight. An ace for the Subtle Squad. 5 for 4 with the Baron only on Camille at the end of this.
And it does mean that despite everything, the Baron is cleared from the map, and that's actually an advantage to Scuttle Squad, even if they hadn't picked up the Baron, because they are still slightly behind by about 1,000 gold. But Wamumu does have the Baron buff, so they will at least be able to do a bit of a push. It won't be much of a power play, but they will be able to do some push and power in here. And with Danger Moose now 6-3 and Wamumu now 4-4, they have some significant power here. And Voodoo again going for the Guinzoos into Nashers into Rabadons, getting that AP, which I think is to empower the Void Seeker missile. gives 3 stacks of the plasma and refunds 50% cooldown. So certainly going for a bit of a scouting and long-range play for Voodoo on this Kai'Sa. Very, very interesting sort of situation. It's now, yeah, just about 1,000 gold in favor of Land Down Under. Very, very close now, thanks to that incredible team fight there, especially by Hahaka.
And real quick here before they go explosive again and have another 5v5, if you're coaching the Scuttle squad here, you have a Baron on Camille, your split pusher. Would you prefer to have her in the side lane, giving her that extra push, or grouped up with your team looking for that 5v5 fight?
Well, considering the team that they have right now, I would actually myself want them grouped up together because the pushing power of the other 4 is minimal minus the Swain. But Danger Moose does have that Tiamat, and the Voodoo is able to push reasonably decently. So it's really a very close situation between the two of them. And Wumumu is able to escape from split pushers. Split pusher punishes very easily. So being able to split push is very effective on Camille, and they will be able to get this inner top tower. They're going to continue to push because the rest of their team is going to try and keep the Land Down Under in this fight.
Is stuck in this pit. He has flash, but meanwhile in the top lane, Camille is just constantly pushing. It looks like the Scuttle squad does not want to let them end, and we have Wumumu on this inhibitor. It's definitely going to go down. We're not seeing recalls coming out here from the Land Down Under. Really interesting to me to see that just lose an inhib for free.
Yeah, it's very, very good that they were able to keep the team around there. That's something that these champions are very, very strong at, especially with that W from Voodoo. And being able to keep the opposing team from backing means that Camille is able to pick up all of those things. And now, wow, holy crap.
Oh, Super Soft gets pulled in. He's going to flash right out of there as this massive wave continues to hit the tower. We have Wumumu here with the Baron buff, but we have a shockwave hitting too. It's only the front line though, but it doesn't matter. British Blaze goes in. We have Wumumu in the back line with the Hextech ultimatum, but he goes down and Reaver slays him. And we have the mid tower falling as Super Soft goes golden with his ulti on, and Morgana gets obliterated there. And we have the Scuttle squad pushing for the win here. Reaver goes down, and it is almost certainly game after that play.
Yeah, a complete turnaround here by the Scuttle squad. They've been slowly clawing their way back this entire game. But that Baron fight into the Camille split push, being able to keep the presence of mind, to keep the team locked around that dragon, means that Scuttle squad will be able to pull out the 3rd win for themselves today, I do believe. Okay, and just absolutely well played there by the Scuttle squad to be able to turn that around, claw their way back into this fight despite being down so far throughout the majority of that game. And with Kai'Sa being 3 items, that's really what seals it there. Is Kai'Sa just so very strong, one of the few ADCs to be strong in this current meta.
Definitely. And if we have a moment to talk a little bit about that last fight, we saw British Blaze ult straight into the front line of the Scuttle squad, while Camille just Hextech ultimated straight into their backline and obliterated everyone. Do you think that was really optimal there, or is there a better way that Land Down Under could have played that fight?
Well, I think British Blaze did exactly what it was supposed to do, and I think it was just overall in that sort of situation, the Chirudo actually only managed to hit Danger Moose and I believe Super Soft with her ultimate with the shockwave, and that was really the real problem there. Without being able to hit the back line with that shockwave, there wasn't a whole lot they could do. And Hahaka not really being able to do a whole lot in that fight as well meant that Wumumu was really able to come in. So I wouldn't really say that British Blaze did anything wrong there, because he basically was just trying to get into the fight to do something. And with the way his ultimate works and with his hitbox being so big, there wasn't a whole lot he could have really done there. And Reaver on this Rengar, nothing really that a Rengar can really do in a team fight that's being played out under tower. So I think the real blame, if we can call it that, for that last team fight is actually on Team Scuttle Squad playing well, as opposed to Land Down Under playing it poorly. It just really came down to a combination of situations that worked in Team Scuttle Squad's favor.
Absolutely agree.
All right, and with that being said, I do believe that is the end of our show end of our show matches for tonight. I'm extraordinarily hungry, and I am also Can Opener Dude. I am joined here again by Demos, and previously I was joined by Jolly, so thank both of them for joining us here in these show match and games. Thanks again to our resident streamer and head of productions, Penguin God, for stepping in at that last minute to give us a bit of a guest caster while Jolly was having some microphone issues. And thank you all for watching these wonderful show matches, especially these back and forth games on the EU West server. With that being said, on behalf of Learning Fives and everyone associated with it, thanks for watching. Tune in next week when we'll have some more exciting show matches, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week.
Bye, guys.
Just a glance is all it took for me to fall, but you don't even know that you were looking at me. And when you smile, smile with your eyes that pass right over me, like I'm as out of place as it feels to be. You're a little too close, but too far away. It's much too early, or it's far too late. Maybe I'm too old now, I'm just afraid that you'll walk away. You're across the room from me, but it's an ocean wide, and the current's pulling